Hello, listeners. Welcome to Changepreneurs podcast, where we bring conversations that spark positive change. We are a team of coaches and professionals from around the world, bringing these conversations every single week. My name is Sathish Kumar, a life coach from South India and founder of this Changepreneurs podcast. Co hosting this special episode with me is Vanitha Senkurichi, another professional coach from Bangalore. Today, we are honored and privileged to have Sivakumar Palaniappan. He is the founder and director of Think Fluence Global, a unique organization focusing on professional speaking, training, and transformation of professionals and business leaders. He is also an executive coach, keynote speaker, TEDx speaker, and a CSP, Certified Speaking Professional. Shivakumar, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you, Vanitha. I'm super happy to be part of this wonderful podcast. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Shiva, if I can call you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see a lot of great work and sacrifice behind all these achievements that you have right now. So, what kind of work that you had to put in to reach this level?
Okay. It's a long journey, though. Uh, I have in total of work experience of close to 23 years, 8, 9 years into technology, 4 years into HR, now almost a decade into entrepreneurship as a trainer, speaker, and coach. It's a long journey, a lot of learning, a lot of mentors, a lot of well wishers, a lot of wonderful clients and customers who trusted us. And I think that's it. It's a pretty long, uh, real hard work.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Shiva, I'm just curious. I acknowledge that, you, it's been a very long journey. And how is, how, did you always have the idea that you are going to uh, shape yourself, your career this way, coming from a humble background? I'm just curious about that.
Not really, Vanitha. As a young child, I was born in a very small, remote village in Tamil Nadu into an agricultural family. Mom and dad did not go to school. They were farmers, and there was not much of exposure to me in terms of life and education. And in fact, I'm the first, uh, not first generation, first one to go to higher secondary school. Not only from in my home, not only from in my family, in my entire village, I was the first one to go to higher secondary school. I was the first one to go to college, that was an engineering college. That was a long journey. And fortunately, I had wonderful teachers in school. One of my Tamil teachers, Mr. Vivekanandan sir, is my big inspiration. He is the one who pushed me onto a stage for the first time when I was in grade 8. Because of his motivation, I went and did a speech in one of the annual event or Independence Day, I remember, in school. And that is when I realized that I have a bit of liking for stage. I love to be in front of people to deliver talk. I realized that, and then I started holding on to that. I started watching a lot of speakers. I went on to TV. I went on to a lot of public meetings and started observing speakers, right? Spiritual speakers, political speakers, literature speakers across in various events and forums. I started becoming so passionate about it. And then he even mentored me almost for 4 years, 9, 10, 11, 12 in school. I was reasonably a well-known person, reasonably bit popular among the school because I used to be in all the Tamil elocution, poetry, debate competitions. I go to multiple district level competition. So I think that was there in me all the time to be in front of people. But to go and speak and deliver a talk, I had to. My Tamil teacher helped me initially, and then slowly he said, "You go, come with your content. I will correct it for you." When he pushed me, I had to go read. I had to find content. I went to library. I started reading books. Slowly, to speak on the stage, I had to build my content. To build my content, I had picked up reading habits. That became part of my journey, and Uh, then somehow I went into engineering college, not out of my choice, but it happened that way. One of my friend in the school, he went to join engineering, and then because of him, I had no idea what engineering is all about. One fine day, he said, "Do you want to come along with me to Coimbatore?" I was in a small town called Kangayam. He said, "Do you want to come
Mm.
along with me to Coimbatore, then district headquarters for us, to buy an application form for engineering college admission?" We had an entrance
Mm.
examination then in Tamil Nadu, and he said, "Can you come along with me? I'm going alone. I need a company." I just went along with him as a company. I ended up buying one more application for me, and that's how I got into engineering along with him. And my college was fully into academics,
Mm.
technology, mathematics, drawing, and full of engineering subjects. I never had any chance of getting into sports, arts, culture in my college. 4 years went on like that. When I came to corporate world, that is when I got exposed to corporate training programs.
Mm.
I got to meet an inspiring trainer. His name was Mr. Kichu Krishnan, and he came to one of the companies where I used to work early in my early career to do a 2 day workshop on communication skills for engineers. I was there in the program, and he was so mesmerizing. I was so inspired by him. That is when I had this idea of connecting back to my school passion of speaking in front of audience to this
Mm.
corporate trainer in front of me, and thought maybe I should build a career in this line. I went and spoke to him, and then he became my mentor, and that's how my whole journey of corporate training alignment started.
Mm.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for sharing. I see a lot of similarities and I see a lot of connection here because one, I come from a very rural Tamil Nadu village also. My
Hmm.
parents also were farmers. They didn't go to school. And and two, when you mentioned Kichu Krishnan, we had one other guest on our show. His name is Mr. Arvind from Chennai,
Okay.
and his mentor was Kichu Krishnan as
Wow.
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and interestingly, Arvind also mentioned that Kichu passed away
Recently.
recently, about
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
months
Yeah.
back. Yeah, yeah. So I see a lot of connection, lots of forces working behind to have this
Mm.
podcast episode with you. So thank you. So I have one curious question
Yeah.
here, Shiva. For me personally, coming from a Tamil background, picking up English as a language was very, very difficult
Yeah.
because I had to really, really work very hard. So, how did you pick up the language? Because I see that you are very fluent and very eloquent also in speaking English.
I I
How did
I
that
I
come about?
exactly went through the whole challenge, Satish.
Hmm.
Coming from a rural background, going to a Tamil medium school, studying not from a very big Tier 1 college. So most of our
Mm.
communication, our conversation were all in Tamil. Though we wrote our
Right,
exams in English, but everything was in Tamil, right? Only when I came to
right.
the corporate world in Bangalore, I understood the importance of language. I picked
Mm.
up language because I had this. I started reading a lot of books in English when I came back to Bangalore. One of my
Hmm.
early managers, I remember him. His name is Swanand Kulkarni. I used to work for Philips Semiconductors then. And one fine
Hmm.
day, when I joined the company, we were having a casual lunch together. He asked me, "What are your hobbies?" I told him I read books. "So what kind of books do you read?" I said, "I read Tamil books on psychology, human brain, motivation, self help, and development." And then he said, "Okay, good." And he moved on. After 2 3 days, he
Hmm.
came back with a small bag or a small pouch, and then he gave me a couple of things and said, "You go look at this." When I opened it, I
Hmm.
found the books of Brain Tracy, Anthony Robbins, Stephen Covey. He had some
Mm.
DVDs, and then he said, "If you are interested in self-help and motivation, go read them, watch them." That's how I started reading English. But when I started working with Mr. Kichu, he told me there's two important lessons. He said, "You have a lot of passion to build into corporate training. Good. You have you read a lot of books. You have good content. Good. But if you want to be a corporate trainer, you have to learn to speak in English, and you have to learn public speaking in English language. Tamil speaking is, yeah, you do Tamil speeches, but then you should be able to speak in English in front of a large audience." And then
Right.
that's when I realized I have to work on two important gaps I had to meet my aspiration. Then I realized one is I have to learn English language. Second, I should learn to speak in front of audience in English. So I was exploring how do I pick this up? How do I bridge this gap? That's when I saw a newspaper. Hindu had a small column saying summer camp for college and school students uh, done by British Council in Bangalore on language. So I went to British
All right.
Council in Bangalore. I inquired and then I joined a 3-month English language program where they taught from the basic phonetics to pronunciation to diction to grammar. At the age of 26, 27, as a young engineer, I started learning English from the basics. So I spent quite a bit of time, 2, 3 months, intensively every weekend, spending 3, 4 hours in British Council to learn the language, number one. Number two, from there, someone referred me to Toastmasters, and I went to Toastmasters in 2007-8. I was a member of Toastmasters for almost a decade until 2017. I extensively traveled in Toastmasters at multiple levels, doing multiple projects. I think those two organizations, British Council and Toastmasters, played a very important role in my English language learning and also speaking in English language.
Wow.
Mm.
Vanitha, I have a follow up there, if you permit me.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is very inspiring and very interesting also for me. Since we spoke about Kichu Krishnan, apart from what he advised you, is there any one message or couple of messages that has stayed with you for a long time?
I remember volunteering with him in few training programs, and one of the key lessons he always told us is, as a trainer, it is not about you, it is not about your proficiency, your expertise, your knowledge. You always think about your learners, your participants. You see from that perspective
Mm.
and bring your content and deliver such that everybody in the classroom is learning, is participating, is engaging. I think that is one key lesson stayed with me from Mr. Kichu.
Wow. Thank you for sharing.
That's so inspiring, actually. I'm just curious, just as a follow up, that has there been any time when you actually kind of just froze midway, or any such incidents that you could remember and share with us?
In the sense, as a speaker trainer, or when
Yes, yes. As a speaker, I guess.
there are, see, as a speaker, a lot of people come and say you are a Toastmaster, you are a DTM, you are a CSP, you do a lot of big speeches. But still, right, when I go in front of an audience, there is a bit of what do you call, a butterfly in the stomach, heartbeat bounces,
Okay.
because there is an urge
Mhm.
inside us to do better. Especially when I go in front of a large audience or a senior leadership audience, I always have this sense of maybe not fear, but sense of uh, uh, gentle fear that reminds me, hey, use this opportunity well, deliver good content, do it better. So that kind of urge is always there, but I don't think I got frozen. Maybe initial days of speaking, I was frozen. I remember the first speech in Toastmasters, I was completely frozen. I went and
Mm-hmm.
delivered my talk for 30, 40 seconds. I gave my introduction. After a minute or so, I didn't know what to speak. I quietly came down. To be very frank, I told myself I'm not a speaker material, right? I felt a little ashamed. I felt a little awkward because I couldn't. This is only, see, in Toastmasters, the first project is your self introduction, icebreaker. I thought it's all about me, what to prepare, and I went with little overconfidence there. But when I saw the crowd in front of me, I got stumbled and I got overwhelmed. I spoke for 45 minutes or so. Then I couldn't say anything. I felt down. I put down my head. I felt ashamed. I came back running in the last bench. I thought I'm not going to come back again here. But fortunately, that club was so very supportive. End of the meeting, everybody came back to me. They encouraged me. They supported me. And that's how I again came back next week, next week, next week. And I continued for 10 long years in Toastmasters. I think that's when I got stumbled. But otherwise, yeah, we learn to manage on the flow, right? So even if I stumble, people will not know that I've stumbled. I'll quickly move on to the next point.
Beautiful. That's so honest and so beautiful.
Thank you. So, talking about speaking, now that you do speeches in front of a very, very large audience,
Yeah.
for the benefit of listeners, particularly for people like me who wants to become speakers like you,
Hmm.
is there any ritual that you do before a speech, like 5-10 minutes before you do a ritual and then go on to speaking?
See, I don't have a very extensive ritual, but whenever I
Mm-hmm.
have a very important keynote talk, I do have a
Mm-hmm.
process that I follow that day. I try to wake up. I try to sleep little early previous night.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up. I'm an early bird, so I wake up early. I do my own morning routine. But normally in the venue, I do quite a bit of what do you call? I familiarize myself often. I arrive at least few hours early to the venue. If it is an
Mm-hmm.
early morning, I go on the stage. I stand on the stage, see myself delivering a talk. Sometimes I go around the corner in the room, right? If it's a large hall, I stand in different corners to see, am I audible, am I visible from different corners. Sometimes I talk to people during the coffee break to familiarize myself. So there are quite a bit of exercises that I do. But one important ritual is I try to kind of, just before I go onto the stage, before I'm called, I just go to the washroom, relieve myself, wash my face. I kind of tell to myself that, yeah, this is an important opportunity which I have to make the best use of, deliver the best value. And then I do a bit of, it might sound crazy. I do a bit of jumping jacks to pump a little physical energy. So little physical energy
Okay.
inside me, and I prefer
Mm-hmm.
coming on the stage, start with a very high energy. So I believe as a
Mm-hmm.
speaker, energy is very important. So what kind of energy you bring in onto the audience is what audience will give you back. The energy is
Mm-hmm.
contagious. So I always try to do activities which will bring in more energy to me when I come on the live. So what I do.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone caught you doing jumping jacks
Yeah.
in the
Recently, I
washroom?
was in Bombay to speak in a conference, and not in the washroom though. Behind the screen, I was doing a jumping jack, and suddenly someone came to put on the column mic, and they go, "What are you doing? What is going on here?" I said, "No worries, just." I just said, "No worries, nothing. I'm normal. I'm okay. I'm normal. I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. Just come and put on the collar mic." And this guy was a little stunned when he saw me doing some physical activities and stretches in
Mm-hmm.
the back.
Wow.
uh, Shiva, you just mentioned that, your parents have uh, never gone to school or been educated, I believe. So, uh, have they seen you on stage and, kind of seen you and then kind of, what was their reaction, the first one when
Okay,
they,
see, dad has not gone to school. He can write his signature, Palaniappan, in a awkward form. But
hmm,
mom had gone till second or third standard. She can read Tamil,
hmm,
but she can't write. But she can read Tamil. And when I came out of the corporate world, both of them were terribly upset, not angry, but upset. They were worried
Mm-hmm.
hmm,
about what is going to happen because everybody around, family, friends, neighbors told this guy is making a stupid mistake of leaving a big corporate company. I was a HR manager at Bosch in Coimbatore, leading a large team. So that was their worry all the time. And after I remember, yeah, after 1.5, 2 years of my retirement or resignation from the corporate world, started my training business. And they didn't understand what is corporate training, what is professional speaking, motivational talk. They didn't even know what I was doing, but they know that I'm going to places. I was in a stable job, going to office and coming back home every day. But now I'm running behind clients and customers, so I don't have a stable income. I have to travel a lot. So they understood that I'm a bit of struggling, or in terms of effort, I'm putting more effort than I was used to do in the corporate world. They were not very happy about it. They were a little sad about it. But then I made them understood that this is my passion. This is what I want to do. But there was always, they had a small tinge of worry in them. And somewhere in 2000, I came out in 2014 from corporate world. After 2 years, somewhere in 2016, on the Gandhi Jayanti Day, 2nd October, a very large Rotary Club in Coimbatore organized a public event to remember Mahatma Gandhi. They invited two speakers to speak on ethics and values in business. And they had a nice crowd in this large hall called Codicia. And the first speaker was me, yours truly, Sivakumar Palaniappan. Second speaker after me was a very popular Gandhian speaker in Tamil. His name is Tamil Manian. Very eloquent, very powerful speaker. And since this is being a Tamil program, I thought they will understand. So I brought them for the first time to a program like this from Kangayam to Coimbatore. They were in the audience. I delivered a 40-minute talk on ethics and values, quoting Tirukural, quoting a lot of stories, examples, inspiring talk. Everybody clapped. And after me, Tamil Manian came on stage. And then before he started his speech, he called me on stage and he picked up the mic and said, I came a little early when Sivakumar was speaking. And then he gave a 3-4 minutes of gist of what I spoke, and he was in all praise of my speech. And then he was giving a wonderful comment about what I delivered. And I could see my mom in tears. She understands things much better, but my dad was still wondering what is going on. So that moment, both of my mom and dad realized that I'm doing something meaningful for the world outside. I think after that, their approach towards my decision completely changed. But even now, right, my dad is no more now. My mom, even now, after 10 years of my corporate job, whenever she calls me, the first question she asks is, do you have programs this week? Are you getting payments on time? Is business okay? So how is everything? So yeah, this still happens. Even last 2-3 weeks ago, when I was in my hometown, she was telling to a neighbor who came to see me, I told him already 10 years ago, don't quit the corporate job. The story goes on. Still the story goes on. But yeah, that moment was a big important moment for me in my journey, Vanitha.
I can relate. As a parent, I can understand the concerns.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you, Shiva. I have lots of similarities again because I left my corporate job in 2023. It has been 2 years.
Okay.
And like how you started in 2014, right? I am at a similar space. And, it was very difficult, to answer your parents, to answer your relatives, your friends.
True.
Some of the friends even thought that I went crazy to do this, where highly paying job, highly well settled corporate job.
I'll tell you,
But
I always
then,
tell this jokingly. My parents were sad and upset, but there is one person who was terribly angry at me for quitting the corporate job. That was, but he didn't confront me. He didn't tell this to me, but he was, I know internally, he was terribly upset. He was a bit angry. That was my father-in-law.
yeah. And my mother-in-law is still upset.
Oh my
I
God.
heard he complained to some relative saying that I gave my daughter thinking this guy is in a big corporate job. Now he's resigned and I don't know what he's going to do. Yeah.
So going on those lines. So what about your wife?
Oh my
She was
goodness.
okay. She was supportive.
Oh, I'm so blessed. Ours is an arranged marriage. From the first encounter, I've been always talking to her about my passion, my love to be a trainer speaker, and I would say she is one very big supporting pillar for me to be in this journey. she stood beside me all in tough times, good times. Even today, she is a big encouragement, big support for me in this journey. I don't think without her support, I would have established reasonably as a trainer speaker. So I think she played a very important role in supporting me all the time.
You know,
Wow.
I think having known Satish and now that you're saying, I feel all three of us can very safely say that we are in this chosen field
Yeah, yeah.
because we have supportive
Very
spouse.
true. See,
Right.
especially when you are an entrepreneur and when you are in a business where I always tell people, right, knowledge business is not an easy business. People would not mind spending thousands of money, thousands of rupees, and buying a smartphone or a jean or a device or a gadget or going for a party or a travel. It's not a problem, but people think twice, thrice, 10 times before they invest on a learning process. So selling knowledge is not that easy. When you are in a business like that with a lot of passion, a lot of sacrifice, you will never be able to sustain. You will never be able to stay back unless you have understanding and supporting family. And I always tell
Fantastic.
this also: you don't have to go and convince everybody in your family, neighbors, everybody. Just your spouse, and then that's only person you have to convince. If they're okay with you, I think you're good to go.
Whatever I wanted to say, you're speaking on behalf of me.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm falling in love with this conversation. Thank you so much. Any I'm just going back to a little bit of your growing up stage, your schooling and college. You spoke about one particular teacher, Mr. Vivekanandan, your
Yeah.
Tamil teacher who inspired you. Looking back at your life, is there any interesting events or experiences that you want to share with our audience?
One important, maybe there are a lot of teachers, a lot of mentors like Kichu Krishnan sir, like my Vivekanandan sir. One person who also sowed an early seed inside me that
Mm.
is the reason for my interest towards human behavior, brain science, and psychology. Those interests is primarily because of someone who was a great inspiration for a lot of young people in Tamil Nadu in early 90s to late 90s or late 90s. One fine day in engineering college, I used to speak, I used to volunteer for teaching sessions in classes. So my HOD called me and said, there is a 1 day workshop happening in Erode. I'm going to sponsor that for you. I'll pay you bus ticket, I'll pay you the program ticket also, but you have to do something in return. I asked what? You have to go with your notebook, take detailed notes of what is being taught in the 1 day workshop, and then come back. You should go to all our department classes, share whatever you learned in a 30-minute crisp content to all other students. If you are agree with that, I will sponsor this program for you. You have to pay some 1,000 rupees those days. It's a big money for me. So he said,
Mm.
you do it. And I said, yeah, I love to speak. I love to teach. I said, gladly, sir, please. I can bunk 1 day to college also. I can go on a sponsored trip to Erode for a program in a nice hotel with food and everything. So I volunteered. I was not knowing what it is, but since he told me, I said I'll do it. So I picked up a bus that day, went to E Road, went to the hotel. I registered, gave my name. I didn't know what is going to happen. I was there inside the hall. Some 60 people were there, all men and women. Very few young person. I was one among them actually. At 9:30, somebody walked in. He conducted a 1 day workshop on how human brain works, how thinking happens, how mind works, how our belief system works. It was a largely a 1 day program on human behavior, human mind, and then human motivation. And that inspiring personality is the great man, M.S. Udayamurthy. I don't know how many of people know this man, M.S. Udayamurthy. M.S. Udayamurthy was a chemical engineer who went to US in the late 70s, 80s. He looked at all brain traces. Stephen Covey came back to Tamil Nadu. He wanted to build a renaissance movement by inspiring young people, and he built an amazing forum called Unnal Mudiyum, not now. He built a small forum and he traveled across Tamil Nadu, inspiring, motivating young people. And he is the one who translated the earliest self-help book by James Allen called As Man Thinketh. They always say James Allen is the father of self-help and motivation. His early book is called As Man Thinketh. He brought that book and he wrote a Tamil version titled Ennangal in Tamil. And then he gave the book copy. And if you want to set the context for people who understand Tamil, there's a very famous movie of Kamal Hassan called Unnal Mudiyum Thambi by director
Right.
Balachandran. In that movie, Kamal Hassan's name is Udayamurthy. The whole movie is in the contextualization, that nice
Okay.
experiment of young people building self-sustained village. So that's how Udayamurthy was there. But he passed away due to some health reason halfway through in his journey. But that was a big turning point. That was an initial seed inside me to align myself towards human behavior.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the movie right now. I can remember Gemini Ganeshan and
Kamal Hassan.
Manorama Achi.
Yeah.
So many people. Wonderful. Such an inspiring movie. I'm just curious, Shivakumar, that was Mr. Uday Kumar the person who kind of instilled that that curiosity about neuroscience and
Udayamurthy, M.S. Udayamurthy. And he
Udayamurthy.
was the
Okay.
early seed. But then again, Kichu Krishnan brought me to this world of NLP.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I got even more interested in behavior, human behavior. So I did my basic advanced certification on neuro-linguistic programming, and again that brought me deeper into my understanding. I also did a diploma in counseling psychology. When I was in Bangalore, there's a phenomenal man called Dr. Ali Kwaza who runs a wonderful institute called Banjara Academy.
Banjaras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a 1 year long diploma in counseling psychology with Dr. Ali. Again, another deep learning into counseling and human behavior.
Yeah. So, Shivakumar, I listened to your TED talk titled "Why Should You Fail,"
Yeah.
and it was very inspiring. And I've taken a lot of notes from the TED talk. Of course, in the show notes of this episode, we will also give that link to your TED talk so that people can watch. So, what I understood from your TED talk is, people get into their comfort zones a lot. As parents, we raise our children, giving them all the comfort so that they don't go out of that comfort zone and they don't learn. And also, as somebody who got into the corporate zone, there are a lot of people, young people, who come up with a lot of passion at their very young age, like 22, 23 years old, coming out of college, and they have a lot of sparkle in their eyes and they want to do a lot of things in the world. But once they get into the corporate zone and once they get married, they get into that comfort zone, right? But you are somebody who broke that comfort zone and came out and doing something different. So, how did you process that? How did you break out from that comfort zone?
I think, especially from the business perspective, career perspective, in my mind, the comfort zone is largely the financial comfort zone that stops people, right? Number one. Number two is willingness to put that extra effort, take a risk of losing things, right? If you are an employee, uh, the possibility of you losing is very less. You might lose that job, you could find another job. You will not lose
Right.
your time value or money value. So, opportunity value, a lot of things are reasonably safe. So, there is no risk involved. But if you are trying out something on your own, you are losing your time, years, you are losing your financial comfort, you are losing your safety in terms of doing things beyond your ability, putting more effort, extra effort. So these are the, I think when you say comfort zone, it is not one single factor, multiple factors play an important role. So people who are quite used to certain way of living, right, and they want to be in that zone comfortably, not willing to break it out, are the ones who stuck there. The primary driver for someone to break the comfort zone is the purpose. One of my other TED talk is all about purpose, not passion. So
Hmm.
how do you find a deeper, meaningful purpose that will drive you towards pursuing that in your professional, personal life? When you have something deeper, something powerful, something bigger and higher driving you, you will really not mind taking risk, doing sacrifices on the other areas of life. If that larger, bigger goal is not there to hold on to, that will pull you forward, you will end up seeing happiness in smaller accomplishments. You will end up being comfortable in smaller roles that you play, and you will not aspire to do bigger things in life. So, a lot of young people do not have bigger, larger aspirations, larger goals, and that's an important reason why they are stuck in certain smaller circles of life.
Hmm.
If you have you have a bigger goal that drive you, you will find ways to break these chains of comfort and move forward. Otherwise, you will feel good in whatever you have and you stay there.
So, just as a follow up, the big picture is great, but isn't that also a potential that you could potentially fail while trying to achieve it? And I'm just thinking, isn't it the smaller goals when you achieve and then kind of keeps you driving? So please help me understand this.
No, see, I'm not somebody who will say take a blind risk, right? Jump from the 12th floor of a building, and then there are people who say jump and then leap and the net will appear. So I believe net will not appear. You will fall and you will break yourself into pieces. So I would say do not be a blind risk taker, but
Hmm.
ask yourself, are you making a calculated move? For example, in my case, when I wanted to become a trainer and speaker, I had quite a bit of financial commitments uh, at home. I had to build a house for my parents. I had to get my sister married. I had quite a bit of loans to close. So I had a lot of financial commitments that stopped me from quitting and starting jumping from the building, right? I couldn't do it.
Hmm.
So what I told myself is, if this is what I have, these limitations, can I use the time window to equip myself towards what I want to do? That's how I worked as an engineer from morning 9 to 5, Monday to Friday in a corporate world, did decent work, got promotion, got increment, I grow there. But I spent my weekends, my evenings on something I call it as a growth oriented actions, which means I'm in
Hmm.
the corporate world, good, I'm getting paid there, but I don't want to continue this for a long. So I have other aspirations. I clearly know what I want to do, but I see a huge skill gap, knowledge gap, ability gap to do that. So I have time to close my financial commitments. So why not use the time window to sharpen my shop? So build on myself. That's when I went to all this NLP certification, diploma in counseling psychology, Toastmasters, English communication, or going to trainers and volunteering with them. So I was doing a lot of these things parallelly. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
because of this skill development that I was doing, when the right moment came, I was able to quit and start my own. A lot of young people, what they do, they have aspiration, they have passion, but when they go into corporate world, when they get in the corporate month on month salary cycle, they get used to it and they somehow lose out on the passion part. So when I talk to young people, I tell them, if you are passionate, if you are keen on building something, and if you cannot do it for various financial, personal, family reasons, you go to a corporate job, you get employed, but don't lose that fire inside you. Don't get distracted. Don't get into the comforts of the month on month salary, get into multiple EMI, be very frugal, save money, sort things out at personal life side, financial side, build a bit of corpus. When things fall in place, comfortably jump and start on your own. I think that consistency of holding on to the dream for a longer time is what will make young people jump from the corporate world to the business world or whatever they want to do, right? So I think that is very important.
Very
Fantastic. Beautifully
profound.
said. Mm.
Yeah, extremely profound. Somebody famously said there are two kinds of addictions. One is a drug addiction, and two is monthly salary.
So I always, there are quite a number of people who are much more smarter, better, eloquent than me in the corporate world, who did not come out and started training because they are comfortable with that month on month salary. And moreover, a lot of
Hmm.
people are not able to come out of the corporate cycle because they're stuck in this wonderful trap called EMI trap. So
Right.
my
Mm.
target was, when I built my home for my parents, when my sister got married, when I got married, when my EMIs and loans got closed, I told myself I'll give 2 more years to save some corpus to start my own business. So I spent 2 years uh, saving every single penny, building a financial corpus for myself to experiment on my passion for at least 1 year. I told my thought process is this: I will save money such that if I quit the corporate world and I start experimenting on my own, I should be able to still live in the same life standards at least for one
Mm.
year without earning single rupee. I need to have that cushion to experiment on things. But fortunately, I was able to pull off, so things fell in place.
Mm. That's a very important lesson. Yes, for anybody aspiring, all the youngsters who are aspiring to take up these roles. This is very profound.
I have a follow up there, Vanitha.
Yes, Sathish, please go ahead.
So now, in 2014, you quit the corporate job and you started your speaking and training business. So after that time, at any point in time, did you ever think about going back to the corporate?
Yeah,
This
there
is
are
not
there
working for
are
me.
times. I Let me be very candid, okay? So it is not that I started my business. I never think about going back to corporate world. But yeah, when I started my journey, I told myself this is going to be my last employee ID as an employee. I want to be a business owner. But then,
Hmm.
unfortunately, yeah, COVID made a big blow, and
Mm.
in fact, I spoke to a large corporate company in Coimbatore. I was supposed to join as the head of HR. I got my resume prepared. I went through one or two interviews. I was almost accepting the offer.
Mm.
But then, Vanitha, remember, I told my wife, who's always supporting behind me, she
Mm-hmm.
told me, you've been putting a lot of effort for last 6 7 years in training,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
Do you really want to go back to the corporate world?
Yeah.
Can we manage? Can we push a little bit further? And fortunately, God willing, I pushed a little bit further, and then the online model of ours kicked in, and then that became a
Mm.
breakthrough for us. I think, yeah, there are times, right? There are times where you don't have programs lined up. You have challenges in terms of paying your bills. Now and then,
Mm.
you always think about, oh my God, did I make a mistake? I never felt deep inside, but I used to ask this question: did I made a mistake? But then I'll bounce back within few seconds because I know I'm doing this out of purpose. There is a deeper purpose that drives me actually. So it's perfectly fine for me to work on what I've picked up. So yeah, but then that's how life is.
This we spoke. You spoke about this online and all those things. So now is the era of hybrid
Yeah.
work. So how do you see it impacting work culture? You work with so many leaders, and is there something that you notice very profoundly impacting?
I do a very powerful keynote session and also an intense workshop on a title: Hybrid Harmony.
Okay.
So we work with multinational companies, especially managers, helping them effectively manage hybrid teams,
Mm.
remote teams placed across the geographics. Distributed remote teams is a trend in a lot of multinational companies. So
Mm.
especially if you are both sides, if you are an employee, if you are a team leader, manager, managing people remotely, managing their expectations, getting things done from them, building an organizational culture in the remote workforce. These are all the most difficult topics that we address in the corporate world. So the more and more world is going to hybrid model. I don't think we will ever come back to completely offline world. So it's a permanent change, permanent mark in our history. Companies will encourage remote working. Mostly what will happen, already happening, is 3 to 4 days in office, maybe 2 days work
Mm.
from home. So that's how most companies are settling down comfortably now, and that will definitely continue. So now the challenge is, how do people effectively blend themselves into this work culture? If you are working from home, sometimes you might miss out on important announcements, you might miss meeting people around you, you might miss personal bonding with people. So how do you still manage to connect, how do you still manage to be part of a team from the employee side? From a manager perspective, how do you make everybody feel they're part of the organization, even if you don't see them in person, flesh and blood, next to you every day?
Mm.
I think these are the areas that we do a lot of work, Vanitha, in this hybrid work model these days.
Mm. How do leaders, how do you prepare leaders to challenge, I mean, to address these challenges? Do you have a set of courses or workshops addressing, helping
So our
leaders
hybrid
address?
harmony is an intense one-day program that we work with
Mm.
corporate managers who are handling remote larger teams. So we have built-in frameworks, we have built-in activities and models inside the course, helping
Mm.
them uh, understand from a remote employee perspective. See, we take them through
Mm.
series of activities, take them through group discussions, take them through a model, helping them realize how important it is for them to be more empathetic, be more listening, be more inclusive, and be more communicating to the remote employees. So that's how we help leaders prepare themselves to handle remote workforce. Vanita.
Mhm. Mm. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Shivakumar. What you shared earlier is still staying with me. When you spoke about purpose, would you be comfortable sharing your purpose with our audience?
I have, as of now, see, for me, the larger, bigger purpose is, I'm a great fan of Robin Sharma's work, which talks about who will cry when you die,
Mm.
Hmm.
right? My bigger purpose is, I really want to impact people in the larger canvas to inspire them to become better leaders. In my understanding, over these years, not 99 percentage, 100 percentage of the problems and challenges and issues that we see in the world around is primarily, to me, is a leadership problem. A better
Mm.
leader could have solved a lot of issues that humankind goes through, right? Every major challenge or a problem or an issue in this world was solved because someone emerged as a leader, took people forward, fought for the cause, got things done. From the India's freedom movement to America's black right movement, most of the South Africa's freedom movement. So a lot of these big global problems are largely leadership problems. So I think if we as a whole world can fix leadership to some extent, the world will definitely be a much better place to live. And my aspiration is to do that.
Profound.
Hmm. I'm just in awe of whatever you just spoke, and I'm thinking, isn't that so simple? Yet there must be, there must be so many challenges when you seem to be expressing it so simply with with the lines being very clear. Yet, do you see challenges when you're putting the same concept across to
Of
leaders?
course, look at society, right? At every level, there are problems: civic problems, social problems, cultural problems. Today, we see very widely geopolitical problems, wars between countries, children being genocided. All this, I see, it's purely leadership problem, right? If there was
Mm.
better leaders in these countries, maybe things would not have happened this way. Lot of things that happens around us is because somebody is deciding on that, and that decision maker is a leader. If that leader is a better leader, he or she would have decided better in different ways. I think that is what I see as a major challenge today. And exactly when we put it across to world around, somehow people see leadership means someone at the very top, but it's not really at the top all the time. At every level, it plays an important role, as simple
Mhm.
as a local councillor to a local MLA to a school principal in the nearby village. Everybody has their own role to play as a leader in their own span of control. So it is not about one big political leader or one big CEO of a large organization. So leadership is not attributed to someone who has a lot of authority power. Everybody, right, can be a leader in whatever role they play. So always, yeah, there are challenges, there are difficulties when you put it across. But my dream and my goal is to make everybody a responsible leader in their own space of work, and that's how the world can become a better place to live.
Leadership is something that fascinates me all the time. It looks like the place you're coming from, we could have another podcast on leadership
Alone,
alone.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We are really mindful of your time. It's been 1 hour almost since we started this podcast episode. So we are trying to wrap it up right now. So is there any final message, that one message that you want to give it to our listeners?
One important message, if I have to leave to people, is I'm a great fan of this Stoic philosophy. I picked it from Stephen Covey and many other
Mm.
Stoics who talk about taking charge, taking control. And if
Mhm.
one message I want to leave would be this message: stop blaming about people around you, things around you, situations around you. Take charge, take control, be your own leader. Like Mahatma Gandhi said, right? Be the change you want to be. Don't worry about what is happening around you, which you cannot go and influence. You take charge, you take control. Whatever you can influence. Whatever you can do, you do. Drive things by yourself than uh, throwing the ball in somebody else's court. Be an owner, be a driver of your own destiny.
Wow. I'm actually reminded of some similar lines by Sunil Jairam, the one who was responsible for the restoration of a lake. We had him on our podcast earlier. He said,
Chitlabakam Rising.
Ha, ha, ha,
exactly. So
ha,
he
ha,
said,
ha.
if not you,
Who
then
else?
who?
Very true.
Yeah, if not now, then
Well,
when? And it stayed with me, and I see the thread that when you are when you are leading or when you are in a role like what you are, it takes a lot of you have to be strong, and it takes a lot of strength. And these lines that you just spoke, and I'm just thinking, wow, I'm very impressed. So there was one small thing I know, we're just at the end. Uh, you keep yourself busy with reading books and all that. Is there any creatives, anything that inspires your creative side, like maybe singing, maybe drawing, painting, anything like that, that the audience would like to know?
Okay, the creative part of me is I love reading a lot. That's my passion. My wife is a Tanjore painting artist, and my son
Wow.
goes into painting. They always make fun of me saying you can't even draw a circle. So, so I love to appreciate art, but I'm far from art. So, but what I like the most is uh, I love nature a lot. Okay,
Mm.
and
Mm.
one of my upcoming book is titled Marvelous Morning.
Hmm.
It's all about early morning. It's not about early morning hustle and bustle. It's about early morning nature. Go out, step out, be with the nature, inhale the fresh air, talk to the plants around you, love the weather, look at people in the early morning, their smiling faces. So my favorite time always is early morning, and I love watching clouds, I love watching birds, I love watching trees. To me, that is my therapy, that is my art, that is my music altogether.
I'm guessing, Shiva, that must be from your background, with from your parents being farmers and you being raised in that
Yeah,
environment.
yeah,
That
yeah.
morning, to me, that is what came up so clearly. That yeah, nature, love of plants,
I think
morning.
I don't know, somehow you got it exactly right. What is there in the preface? The whole book talks about my early morning days as a little boy in a village where parents would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go for milking the cows, where I go around along with them. So that whole early morning habit started from my early childhood days from a
Mm.
rural village, right? So I still carry it along with me. So I think, yeah, that's how it's connected.
So, yeah, thank you. So when that marvelous morning is out, we can host you on another
Oh,
episode
would love
unpacking
to.
that whole
I
book.
Would love to. Would
exactly.
love to.
It's
Right. All
wonderful.
right. Yeah.
Go ahead,
Look,
Satish. You can close.
yeah, yeah. It has been a real honor and privilege, and personally, I could relate to a lot of things that you whatever you shared, and your work is absolutely inspirational. And thank you so much for what you are in the world and how you're showing up. Thank you so much, and Vanitha, thank you for your time as well. Uh, Listeners, thank you for your patient listening, and I wish you all the best.
I just want to
Uh,
say thank you so much to both of you, Satish and Vanitha, bringing out the best in people. I loved this conversation. I loved your questions. In fact, if I remember, I've shared few things which I've never shared anywhere, like getting into the
Okay.
corporate HR role. So a lot of things was very personal to me. But then I
Mhm.
loved the vibe in this conversation. I truly, truly appreciate you guys, the Changepreneurs podcast, for your intention, for your passion, for your purpose. It's not easy producing week after week, talking to people, bringing guests. You are doing a phenomenal, phenomenal job. So keep doing, keep inspiring. All the very best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
And listeners, if you really liked what you heard today, do subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast as well. Wish you all a fantastic day and good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, and bye bye.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.